Hello friends, we'll be discussing the concept of demand right now. That we have already understood what demand is, what is the supply part of it, and how the price is determined. The next concept is to understand the whole concept of demand itself. So let's read out certain points related to it. In economics, demand has a particular meaning distinct from its ordinary usage. From the ordinary usage, or rather how ordinary the term demand looks like, in economics it has a different meaning related to it. In common language, demand and desire are treated as synonyms. In a regular language or in a day-to-day life, we understand that demand and desire is a synonym part, or rather, we take both of them to be equal enough. However, in economics, it is not the same. In economics, the demand comprises of three things. First, desire of commodity. Second, will be sufficient money to purchase the commodity. And third will be willingness to spend the money to purchase that commodity. Now, in economics, demand is first known as the desire for that commodity. Second thing will be the sufficient amount to purchase that commodity. And third will be willingness to buy that commodity. So all these three things will comprise of demand for that product. Now, this undertaking makes it clear that a want or a desire does not become demand unless and until an individual has the ability and willingness to purchase it and satisfy it. That means in economics, desire does not mean just the want for that specific product or service. It also requires the backup of sufficient money and the willingness to spend that much of sufficient money. For example, or rather for instance, a poor man who wishes to have a car, his wish or desire for a car will not constitute the demand for the car because he cannot afford to pay for it. That is, he has no purchasing power to make his wish or desire effective in the market. So when it comes to demand for a product, the demand for the product not just relates to the desire of the whole public, but it also depends on the willingness and the purchasing power of that whole public here. Important characteristics of demand is that demand for a commodity is always in reference to a particular price. Demand for any specific product will always be related to a specific price. Everything has a price. That's an idiom that we talk about. So this idiom refers, or rather reflects correctly here when we have to explain that demand for any product will include the price attached to it. Demand has no meaning unless and until it is related to the price. Further, demand always means demand per unit of time. In other words, demand for a good at a particular price is the amount of it which will be bought at a particular point of time. For example, the car prices may go up at any point of time. So if you're purchasing the car at that moment when the prices aren't up, that's the price of it. But the demand of that specific car, or rather your wish to purchase that car, will go up, or rather will be affected by the price that will come up in near future. For example, if a car is costing 7 lakh rupees and if there is major changes in the steel industry or anything which is related to the car, and if the car prices shoots up, the demand will also be affected, because now the car prices have gone up, and you need to also think about whether you are able to add up that much of money which has increased and whether you're willing to pay that much of money now. That affects the demand of the car as well. Now, demand of a commodity is influenced by several factors such as the desire of the consumer for a commodity, income of the consumer, the prices of the substitute and the complementary commodities, etc. It is worth noticing that the demand of an individual is different from the market demand. For example, this can be explained as follows. So, for example, let's take you have to purchase a certain product. The best example can be a mobile phone. People are going crazy beyond iPhones, or rather behind iPhones. Now, people who have the purchasing power of going ahead and spending 1.5 lakh to buy that iPhone can definitely buy that iPhone. But people who have a restricted budget of 50,000 may think if they want iPhone, or if there is any other substitute for that. So if the substitute is getting all the features that are related to the iPhone, 1920 somewhere difference can be there. But if most of the features are there, then you will think twice whether you need to buy an iPhone for sure, or you can go ahead with the substitute. That's what constitutes the demand of any product. Individual demand refers to the quantity of a commodity that a person or a particular person is willing to purchase at a given price over a period of time, say per day, per week, per month, etc. Market demand is the total quantity of all the users a commodity are willing to buy at a given price over a period of time. In other words, market demand is the sum of individual demands for a particular product. So basically, what we're talking about is that the market demand is different from an individual demand. Individual demand comprises, or the total of individual demand will be the total of the market demand here. So when you're talking about market demand, you need to first look into individual perspective, whether all the people are going ahead and buying iPhones or not, or rather a majority chunk is buying, or a different majority chunk is buying a different phone. That's all will constitute the total of the concept of demand here. So this is how you can reflect or think about how the concept of demand will go further and how exactly you're supposed to deal with such kind of demand concepts. So this is all that we had when it comes to concept of demand and how you're supposed to explain it. Thank you for watching this video.